How's it going? Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk about getting lessons. Big believer in them. I think lessons are great if you're trying to improve, whether it's a bowling or golf. It's a set of eyes. It's going to somebody who has a lot of knowledge about the game you're trying to improve in. Can definitely help you get better and impart some knowledge. It's important to find the right person to give you a lesson. Not everybody that's asked me for lessons I've been able to help. You have to be able to click with that person. I mean, it's just you have to be comfortable with them, and because you have to believe what they're telling you. They have knowledge, you have a belief. You want your belief to become knowledge, but so you have to find the right person. Second thing, the number one thing I do, first thing out of the gate, if I'm helping somebody, is I check to see if their equipment fits. If your equipment doesn't fit, you're paddling upstream. So in bowling, the most important thing is I check their grip, make sure the ball fits properly. Yeah, they need to have the right type of ball for what they're trying to accomplish. That's a given. However, if the ball doesn't fit right, it makes no difference whether that ball is right or wrong. It's not going to work. In golf, there's a few things on the club. You got grip, shaft length, swing weight, loft lie, shaft flex. Shaft flex is most important. You have to have the proper shaft flex for your particular swing. That doesn't mean if you swing at X miles an hour, you need an X flex shaft, because it depends on how you create the swing speed too. So there's a lot to it. You can get a really decent set of shafts for not all that much. You don't need to be in the many hundreds of dollars for a set of golf shafts to improve. But you need to get something that's very close. So the club is where it's supposed to be. So you don't really have to worry too much about that part of it. So get fit, get your stuff fit. It is worth it. It's the number one most important thing. I know one person, my buddy Bill. He can take literally any club, anywhere from he mostly plays hickory shafts now, anywhere from a 2X shaft to a hickory shaft and everything in between. And you give him 3 swings with that club, and he's going to center it every time. It's absolutely amazing. But there's not a lot of people that could do that. I can't do that. So the difference in coaching bowling and golf. In bowling, I can get real-time results. I'm on a lane, there's pins down there. So when I'm working with somebody, we can instantly see angle of entry changes, speed changes. You can see all that in real time. It makes it a lot easier to impart what I'm trying to impart to them in that situation. In golf, not so much. You're on a driving range. You got a nice flat lie, and you just kind of you're swinging away trying to get a good contact and good flight and good look and all that kind of stuff, but it's not actually playing the game on the course. So that makes it a lot harder. So after at least a few lessons and you start to get comfortable, I would definitely suggest getting a playing lesson, because there's so much more to it. So expounding on that, when I'm coaching somebody, it's not the mechanics that I'm trying to teach them. I'm also explaining the game to them and the benefits of why this is going to help them, and how to play the game and what you're trying to see and what you're looking for. Because if you know what you're looking at, it makes the game a lot easier. That's where experience comes in. The pros at the top level, they're good. Don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking them. They're much better than I am. But they know what they're looking at. So they can eliminate a lot of negative factors. The key to sports is knowing how to miss. It's not about good shots, it's about bad shots. That's just the way that works. So when I'm coaching somebody, I'm trying to explain to them how to play the game and what they're looking at also. A little harder in golf because you're not actually on the course. So definitely get a playing lesson or two. Everybody does something wrong in their game. Wrong. That's wrong, okay? Everyone. I don't care how pretty it looks. You know, this person swings the club so nice, or that person throws the ball so good. They all do something wrong. It's just the way that works. Personally, when I'm helping somebody, I'm not really trying to get them to not do something or to get rid of whatever they're doing wrong. I'm I'm much more focused on taking, okay, what do you naturally do? Well, this is what I naturally do. Well, you might have been told that's wrong by everybody. What I want to do is make you good at doing that, because that's what you naturally do. It would make no sense for me to have you go out and spend 6 months killing it trying to eliminate something that, you know what, in a pressure situation, you're probably going to do anyway. Human nature. So speaking of that, so in bowling, there's a certain thing I do if I'm in an important situation to me, win a tournament, win a game, maybe shoot a 300, whatever the situation is. There's a certain thing that I do, and it's not right. And I spent a very little time when I was young trying to not do it until I realized that, well, that's what I do. So I need to be really good at doing this. So when I'm in that situation, I know that 80% of the time that this is going to happen. So I allow for it. I don't try to not do it. I make an adjustment so that that can happen and I don't get hurt by it. And that's why I'm really big on making people good at what they do, not trying to fix what they do, trying to enhance what they do. So that's how I do it. That's kind of my overall philosophy. Obviously, it's not 100%. Everyone's going to be a little different, but that's in general. I'm trying to, well, let's see, you do this. Okay, well, we're going to make you good at doing this instead of trying to get you to do this. Practicing. Obviously, you have to practice. I made a really large mistake in my career when I was younger. I loved to practice. Loved it. My favorite thing to do. I would relentlessly be bowling, relentlessly be hitting golf balls because it's what I absolutely love to do. And it really, really hurt me for the first big part of the first, much of the first of my career. It hurt because I wasn't really thinking of anything. I was just going through the motions where I think of this and think of that, and then think of this and think of that. So when I was in a situation where I needed to really come through, I didn't have a swing thought, or I call it a bucket. I didn't have a bucket of thoughts I could pick from because not every thought's going to work every time. But I've got a few keys, maybe 10 or so in both sports that I can pull out of the bag and focus on that so I can get the best result in that situation. So my point is when you practice smart. You'd be better off practicing for a half hour a day, being very much on point and really very focused on the thing you're trying to focus on that day than you would be to be out there for hours and hours and hours. If I'm working on something and I put down 15 golf balls, I would be so much better off being ultra focused on those than going to the pro shop and getting a trash can full of golf balls and bringing them out there and hitting all of them. It's just, it's about having the right thoughts in your mind at the right time, because your swing is going to come and go. It just does. That's the nature of sports. So practice smart. And me personally, speaking of practice, no matter who you are, some days your swing feels good and some days it feels like ass. On the days I'm swinging it really poorly and I'm not making good contact, I don't hit balls. I don't see the point in spending a lot of time putting negative feelings and thoughts in my head. Doesn't make sense to me. I'll go chip and I'll go putt because I don't have to be swinging it good that day. Same thing with bowling. If I'm having one of those days where I feel like I've never played the game before and I'm tripping over myself, I'll shoot spares because that's just throwing the ball straight. So that's easy enough. I don't want to ingrain something negative in myself. Conversely, if I'm having one of those days where I'm just center facing every shot and I'm just boom, 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 I'm probably going to stay out there longer, still focusing, but staying out there longer because this is the feeling I want. This is the thought that I want to have to get this feeling to repeat that swing. So practice smart. It's not quantity, it's quality. So that's kind of where I want to get into lessons, a few thoughts on it, just off the top of my head. You don't do things that are wrong. You do things that are you. Now, they might not benefit you, and there might be some things you want to try to do less of, and if you want to try to eliminate it, go ahead. I'm much more a person, though, how do you do this? This is what you do? Well, this is what we're going to do to make it work. Because as a coach, if I can't make what you do work better than it is right now, then you need to go find somebody else. Because maybe they can help you. Maybe my philosophy is totally wrong for you. It's the one I go by. So those are my thoughts on practice. Number one thing, take away from anything. I don't care if you get one lesson, you get a package of lessons, you take lessons for 10 years. If your equipment doesn't fit you, you're wasting your time. Get fit.